going on, y'all? Welcome back to Tammy Talks. We are here today to talk Ready to Love Season 4, Episode 5, Sink or Swim. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos. A huge thank you to everybody that has been coming back week after week, getting down into the comment section, liking the video, all that good stuff. So let's get right to it, y'all. So, like I said before, I'm just gonna kind of like, until we get down to fewer people, I'm gonna just keep doing like highlights of different dates. And it really just talk about the big stuff. All right. So it starts off with the women meeting up in the women's lounge, the ladies' lounge, so that they can discuss what they're going to be doing for the week. Tasia comes in and she like has this chip on her shoulder still, and it's just saying that the men are playing around. No, girl, you are the problem. You're the issue. On top of that, we don't ever see her on any dates. Aside from, when Frank was shaking the shit out that out that drink, like we don't see her on any dates. So Tommy told them that he was gonna switch it up and they were gonna have a big pool party, so everybody can mingle and kind of reset. So at the party, Corey decides that he wants to do something romantic for Courtney, and he's gonna put out all these different like little note cards with declarations of love. I guess you can call them all over the place. He said he'll do that today, and then Moomin, who is his other connection, he'll do something romantic for her tomorrow. And I'm like, this is a bad idea, but okay. So Camille and Cornelius, y'all. Camille gives me, whenever Camille comes on screen, like like that music pops in my head. She scares me. Camille scares me, y'all. So they're talking, and I guess she said that after they went skating, they had a conversation about boundaries. And because Cornelius feels stifled, you know what I'm saying? He feels like he's not able to go out and really make connections with any of the other women because Camille is always up in his face, or when they're at group settings and stuff, she doesn't let anyone else even get close to him. She's also going around telling everybody that that's her boyfriend. Okay? So Courtney is finding all these cards all over, and she is like, what the hell is going on here? And she's like kind of asking people, who is this? Everybody was like, it's Corey. That's some lame shit that he would do. That's the vibe that all the men were giving. So then Tyrone goes up to Shiloh in the pool and tells her, I like Sabrina, but I want you to be my wife. And I was like, it's like the third day. So Shiloh was a little taken off guard by it because she doesn't want to match up that quickly. She wants to still, get to know some of the other men and see if she has a connection with any of the other men. Like, it's very soon to be like, Matt, let's just focus on me and you, but I want you to be my wife. Tyrone is a little odd. He seems very intense, and I feel like Tyrone is, because he's a little older, I get the vibe that he's like rushing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not really, and not to say that he's not being genuine, but I feel like he has this like internal clock that is ticking and ticking very quickly, and that's why he feels the need to be like, you know what? I like Shiloh. I want Shiloh to be my wife. On top of the fact that she said they have never even had a date. So what is going on, Tyrone? Lord. So Tommy then announced that 2 new people will be joining the collective, we'll call it. So we have Sydney and Sean. Sydney is, I think they said she was 33, and she is an entrepreneur. Sean is 44, and he calls himself a Chantrepreneur. I said, I love a pun. I do. But I don't know if that was okay, Sean. All right. So, Camille, Zadia, Sydney, and Sean are like sitting in one of the like little smaller pool areas. And Sydney and Sean are just kind of talking, like, where are you from? What made you want to be on here? Zadia was kind of like, and I haven't had any issues with her, but she was like, we can go if it's just between y'all two. I don't want to intrude. And Sean is like, no, we're talking to everybody. And then Camille, crazy ass, is like, Well, no, I have my boyfriend already. I don't want to waste anyone's time. And it's like, girl, that man don't want you anyways. Cause he probably sees the crazy in your eyes like everybody else does. Camille is like, she's rude. I can't. I see the preview for next week. Look like Camille goes home. Good riddance. My God. So then we see Tyrone goes over to Sabrina. Um, and tells Sabrina, I like you, but I want Shiloh to be my wife. Sabrina was like, what? Oh, okay. It's a little soon because you don't know if she's even all in on you yet. Which I like the way Sabrina handled it because it was on some, okay. You know what I mean? Like, but like she gave him some real though. Like, there are, and she was saying from herself because I think she really liked Tyrone, but she was like, there are people that are like actually pouring more into you and trying to get to know you, but you want Shiloh, which is perfectly fine, but you don't even know if Shiloh feels the same way about you. So what Sabrina told him was real, but Tyrone was like, yeah, I get it, but I want Shiloh. He's just very monotone and this is probably not the right show for him. Tyrone is somebody that needs to be able to go out and meet somebody one on one and focus on them like that because he doesn't know how to navigate through all these different women, in like these big group settings where everyone is just, you got to try to get in where you fit in. So, Corey and Moomin. So, note before that, Sydney. Sydney's talking to Cornelius. They're having just basic conversation. She's new. She's trying to get to know everybody. Cornelius is like throwing out flares. So anybody come help me. Anybody come help me. He's throwing out flares because he wants somebody to save him from crazy ass Kamil. And the entire time Kamil is just daggers staring at them. So then Corey goes and meets up with Kamil and they're talking. And Kamil, this is where Kamil would have really had me effed up if I was Cornelius. So they're talking, and Kamil is like, eyes getting glossy and red. And she tells him, I don't like to see you with other women because you're disrespecting me. Because you're sitting in her face, and like a country bumpkin. I said, wow, a country bumpkin. Then she told him he was being a dumbass because he's being naive. And I'm like, what? Twilight Zone. Do, 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 do. I feel like that's what goes on in her head. And that's not the right melody. I'm hearing the melody in my head. Y'all know that creepy ass music. But it's like, I feel like Camille is like, she needs to be on a drip. Something is not right with this lady, y'all. Cornelius better watch his back. He better watch his damn back because something's not right with her. And I'm sorry, but the fact that she called him a dumbass country bumpkin, that should have been the end of that, Cornelius. Don't let this woman sit and disrespect you because she don't know how to fucking respect boundaries. That man is not your boyfriend. But I feel like Cornelius is also leading her on in the wrong way. And that's why she keeps doing that. That's exactly why she keeps behaving like that. Because Cornelius hasn't checked her ass yet. And it doesn't have to be a rude, aggressive checking. But it needs to be on some, girl, we are all here to explore and meet and date all these people. You're not even, like, he's not your boyfriend. He's not your boyfriend. So, Corey and Moomin have a date. And Tasia, who is a hater, called Moomin to tell her that Corey was leaving love notes for Courtney all around the pool. Now, on one hand, Tasia was doing that on some woman to woman. Let me let you know what's really going on so you don't make a fool out of yourself. But on the other hand, I feel like Tasia is willing to sabotage anybody else's chances because she feels that the men are not giving her a fair shake. And I really think that's what it is when it comes down to her. So she meets up with Corey Moomin and she was like, I'm gonna get straight to it. I heard you were leaving like love notes for Courtney all around the pool party. And Corey looks extremely guilty in the face, and he's like, "Well, who told you that? Did you see me write a love letter?" And she was like, "I've heard, but did you see me do it? And see, what you're not gonna do is gaslight me, my guy. I know that you did it." And instead of Corey just being honest and saying, "Yes, I wrote her some little notes or whatever," and then, but I don't know. There has to be a better way for him to do that, but to sit and deflect and lie about it, because that's lying. He was lying. So she was like, "What? Like, okay, so if you're not going to answer, okay." And that's basically, that tells me what I needed to know. You're answering me by not just being truthful. So then he's like, "Well, I'm trying to understand why." He asked her, "Why was he the focus? Why was I the focus?" Because you are leaving notes, and this woman is trying to figure out who is leaving all these notes around. She's trying to get back to the source. Stupid. So Corey then tells Moomin that she is his number one, and he wants her to meet his parents. I said, this nigga. So Moomin was like, "I know that meeting your parents and family is very important to you, so I can't see you playing around with that. But like, are you really all in on me? Because I don't want everybody to meet my parents." So she's kind of looking at it like, what's really going on? And again, Corey talks in circles, talks in circles, talks in circles. And I'm like, he is just itching to go home. He is itching to go home. So then we have Sydney, Cornelius, Camille, and Dante. They go to a selfie museum. Sydney goes up, greets Cornelius, and of course Camille gets mad. And I'm like, Camille gives me murder-suicide vibes. If I can't have you, no one else can. That's what she gives me. So Camille then does apologize to Cornelius for how she behaved the night before. And he tells her, "You're my strongest connection here." Of course she is. You haven't had a chance to talk to anybody else. Cornelius is lucky he hasn't been sent home yet. To be real, you haven't been talking to anyone else because Camille has you in this chokehold to where you can't do anything else. Lord. So, Sean and Aisha meet up, and they have a good connection. Aisha likes older men, so she thinks Sean is perfect. He seems very mature. They had good conversation. He brought her some flowers that, like, led to him, like, remembering her zodiac sign and all this type of stuff. But their biggest issue is that he might still want kids. She has two teenagers, a 13 and a 15-year-old. So she says she's done. She's done with babies. She's done all that. She spent her 20s raising kids, and now in her, late 30s, transitioning to early 40s, she wants to be out kicking it and enjoying life because, her kids are going to be out the house very soon. She wants her life to start. Sean, however, feels that, a baby might be his second phase of his life. So it's not going to work with them because she absolutely does not want more kids, and he doesn't know just yet if he does or not. And then she goes on to say that, a big fear of hers is kind of wondering if she will be enough herself, just her and her kids, because she does not want to have more kids. And I think like that's a real fear that some women have when they already have kids and they don't want to have more, when they start dating and getting serious with a man that does have that does not have kids. So I think they might be good together, but I think she had more of a connection with, was it Frank? I think it was Frank, but it's just the fact that Frank is a little younger, and she said that she likes older men. So then we have the women. They all meet up so that they can discuss who has to go home. Courtney and Moomin discuss how Corey has been telling them the same things. So Courtney says that Corey was like leaving out little love notes for her. And Moomin was like, "That's funny because I asked him and he basically kind of like tried to deny that he was doing anything." Then it gets into Courtney being like, "Well, he wants me to meet his parents. Well, he wants me to meet his parents too." So then like all the women are like, this is an issue we had with him before, with him feeding everybody the same bull because he doesn't know how to effectively date in this capacity. For this is a hard situation to be in, right? Because you're trying to fill out different men while trying to make sure that you're not closing off a connection with someone else or stepping on someone else's toes. So it's a tough spot to be in, but like you can't copy paste, and that's what Corey has been doing this entire time, and that's we see why Corey has been single, right? So Shiloh, then the next person that they talk about sending home is Tyrone, and everyone is like, well, Tyrone has, he's cutting people off because he's focusing in on Shiloh. And Shiloh is like tearing up because she's like, he's a good guy, but she's not at that point yet where she wants to focus exclusively on him. And because she's not there and he is, they're not going to get to navigate through this process together and kind of explore that because, the other women are going to want to send him home because if he's not willing to connect with or date anybody else, we really don't need you to be here, bro. So she gets emotional about it, and she actually is the one that agrees to meet with Tyrone, and that is their first date. And she just lets him know that you're not ready for love, like he is focused in on her, and she's just not there yet. And Tyrone is very gracious about it. He says he likes the way that he navigated through this process. He's a very direct person. When he knows what he wants, he likes to cut off, the outside distractions, that type of stuff. He just kind of told her, you know where I am. Basically, if this doesn't work out and this process doesn't work out and you don't connect with somebody, hit me up and then, we'll see what happens. Courtney meets with Corey. And Courtney is pissed because you can tell that Courtney and Moomin were the only women that were actually willing to entertain Corey, right? After his nonsense from the first night where he was getting everybody's number and stuff. This is the third week that Corey is in the bottom two. So Courtney kind of tells him everything you've been saying is a lie. You're telling everyone that they are your number one. You're taking everyone home to meet your parents. And instead of Corey, again, being truthful, he's just so, no, I told everyone, I've been truthful with everyone. And it's like, Corey, you can't even lie straight. So then you can tell he's smirking. I don't think Corey came on here to honestly and truly try to find somebody. Corey came on here for exposure, to get them DMs open so that he can try to get more women. So he is still he's still trying to play in Courtney's face. And you can see that she's getting more and more pissed because it's why are you lying? You know what I mean? If you are telling everybody that they're your number one, you're telling other people you want them to meet your parents, you're telling other people all these different things, how genuine is it? Or are you doing it just to try to get the next date? So she sends him home, and he is sitting there being an ass about it, I think. Just knocking back that little drop of champagne. It's gone, sweetheart. It's gone. There's nothing else in the bottom of the glass. But then he says that the women got it wrong. And if they just would have been patient, they all would have got their day to feel like a queen. And I'm like, you are such a cornball. And that's why you're single. All right, so on next week's episode for the preview, they show Camille being sent home and her being very expletive in her response. Because she is crazy. And thank God Cornelius is getting away from her because, like I said, it's giving murder-suicide. If you have made it this far through the video, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch y'all next week.